Hey guys, it's September 3rd, Thursday. Quick update on my 95 XP 951 project. I'm working today on a few things, specifically mounting this mount for my external rectifier. The rectifier kit came from Dave Sebelius out of, I think, Leeds, North Dakota. I highly recommend his kits. He's a great guy to work with. And this mount came from a 98 GSX, I believe. Right now I got this wedge, this aluminum strip wedged in there to hold it while the JB Weld cures. But I cut some strips of this. This is the same strip I used for the rear electrical box to move it back. But I cut two strips off, drilled and tapped two 1024 holes. And so the mount is mounted to those, and then those are being JB welded to the hull. So hopefully that will cure and hold. This way, if I decide to run the 951 electronics, I've got the M-pin mount right there. I can probably unscrew it and rotate it around or whatever. And yes, there's a rock there. I've got this clip here. I'm adding a clip here with JB Weld to zip tie wires up, and the one down here was broken, so I'm JB welding that, and I got the rock here to keep the hose from going that way. So hopefully that'll cure. Give all this JB Weld a day to cure. Those clips I got in a bag here off Amazon with the zip ties. I think it was like $15 for 100 of them or something. These do have adhesive back, but the adhesive isn't very strong, especially for a fiberglass hole. So I've been JB welding them. On the stock 800s, the wire runs this way, but because we've got the pipe here, what I did was I JB welded some extra of these clips in here for the wires. That works pretty great. Haven't had any issues with those. I just hope that JB Weld is strong enough for that mount in there for that rectifier. Yesterday I also wired up this aftermarket GPS speedometer and odometer from Amazon. I got it wired in here, and it goes to this black and purple harness that was from the VTS unit to the VTS unit gauge, since I'm not going to be using the VTS gauge. So now when you power it on, she's on. Now normally she'll count, if instructions say it'll start counting up to 30. The mile an hour will go up to 30 when it's searching for the satellite. As you can see, it's also got an odometer as well, and there's a way to reset it, but the button is on the back. It's a reset button, so otherwise you can't really do a trip meter on it. But it's supposed to be a marine waterproof gauge, so I guess you don't want any buttons and stuff here, I guess. So that's the only downfall of it, is I can't really do a trip meter on it. But otherwise I think it was $75-$80 for that thing. We'll see how it works on the water. And I got this O-ring, replacement O-ring from Amazon or eBay as well. It's a little tight fit. It kind of caved in there on that side because it's such a tight fit, but it's should be completely water sealed. This is the old gauge holder. As you can see, it's gummed up. I wish there was a good source for newer ones of these. These are really nice. But yeah, so hopefully we'll have our VTS, our trim, hydraulic finger lever trim coming soon. I've also got my graphics kit coming. There's my helper. But I'll get all this cleaned up, shined up, all this grease and dirt removed and everything before I put the graphics on, of course. And so hopefully the outside will look really nice. I've got a lot of fiberglass dust everywhere that I'm going to have to clean out. That was from when I was sanding down the hole and stuff here. It gets everywhere. Of course, when you're doing that, you want to cover up any holes. You know, make sure none of that dust crap gets inside the engine or the carbs. So I used big towels for that to cover that up. But I still have a lot of tidying up to do. I got to get some more zip ties and a lot of my routing for my wires and lines I've got to clean up. But that's on the to-do list. We're going to water test it and everything. Make sure we're good to go before I, zip tie everything up perfectly in its final position. So a shout out to Dave Sebelius out in Leeds, North Dakota for his rectifier kit. Highly recommend those kits. We'll see how well this thing. I had it on the lake once with the black pipe before I had the issue. I think the internal, not the internal, but the rectifier inside the gray box was bad. So this bypasses that, is basically what it does. The ones in the gray box, the stock ones, are what's called a half volt rectifier or whatever. And this is a full volt rectifier. So it's a lot better, worth every penny. Dave is a great guy, very helpful on this. And this one's a custom one because I'm using the 951 with the 800 electronics, and he's never done a kit for that before. So he sent me a kit which was for the 951, thought it would work, but the difference between the 951 and the 800 was the 800 uses an additional ground wire that the 951 doesn't. So he had to send me an additional wire, which was only like a 4 or 5 inch wire to add into the terminal, which I mentioned in the previous one. So basically, you unplug your rectifier, plug his rectifier in, and then his rectifier has a loom where your old one plugs in, and then you unplug the red wire in the rectifier in the gray box. So basically, between the two connectors, you've got like 4 or 6 inches. And we just had to add an additional black ground wire in between those two, and that fixed our problem. So he was very helpful in that. I highly recommend his stuff. And if you're working on a project, especially something custom like this has never been done, hit him up. He sent this to me, the kit first, and didn't request a payment or anything. He said, "Try it. Let's see if it works." I put it in, it didn't work. He did some research and found out it needed that ground wire. He sent me that ground wire. I plugged it in. It worked. And I said, great. So then I said, what do I owe you? And he told me, and I paid him. So it was I was very happy with that. Awesome for someone to send you a product before you buy it. He's just a great guy. Knows his stuff. And really, really good guy to deal with. Anyway, stay tuned. I'm going to be probably doing a video on winterizing one of my other XPs within the next week. I'm also going to, hopefully I'll get the trim from Westside Powersports. I'll do a video, maybe I'll do a video of installing that if I can get someone to hold my camera and record me installing it. I'm not sure. But anyway, and then I've got the graphics coming. I'll do a cleanup before I put the graphics on, and I'll do a big reveal of what graphics I got for this thing. So stay tuned for future videos, guys. Subscribe, hit the like button, share. I appreciate it all. Have a good one, guys.